Welcome back to the talkSPORT MMA YouTube channel. My name is Quake Kafari and I'm delighted to be joined by a very special guest, PFL Bellator fighter, Paul Hughes. We were talking just before we started recording about your last fight against Usman Nurmagomedov in Dubai. Very close fight, a fight that a lot of people call in the greatest fight in PFL/Bellator history. What's your assessment of that close loss?
I would agree with that, definitely. My thoughts and feelings around it now, pretty positive. My stock is absolutely through the roof. As expected, to be honest, I expected to get my hand raised. I expected this to be the reaction of the fight, although I didn't get my hand raised. I've left myself in a better position than before.
You mentioned things didn't go your way in that fight. What is the reason that you didn't get your hand raised? Can you pick out a particular reason as to why you narrowly lost the fight against Usman?
Look, I mean, obviously 4-1 in the scorecards were ridiculous. The draw from the first scorecard was definitely a fairer result, especially considering the point deduction. Look, I mean, as you know, if you watched it, I thought I won that fight. Watching it back, I still think I won. But the thing about MMA is it has to be very clear that all the rounds were close. So I just need to make sure next time that it's not close.
He handled his wrestling very well. Of course, that's his biggest asset. But was there anything that he brought to the cage that surprised you?
Nothing surprised me, to be honest. The fight kind of went how I expected it to go. I had high expectations for him, and he definitely came to them expectations. One thing I would say is when I watched it back, I had a better appreciation of his skills than when I was in there. When I watched it back, I was like, oh, like this guy is such a good fighter. He's so evasive, so fast, really, really high level athlete.
Usman's been talking post-fight about the fight itself and how he thinks it went. He's said in recent interviews that he was sick going into the fight and was only at 50%. Do you view those comments as a little bit disrespectful towards yourself?
Look, I mean, I don't find it disrespectful. I just think it's him finding a way to kind of say, oh, this is why it was so close. It's normal. This happens all the time in fighting. I have said similar things after winning fights also, so yeah.
Usman's also been saying that after that fight, you are 4 or 5 fights away from a title shot. Of course, your stock in the organisation is at an all-time high right now after the win against AJ McKee in Saudi. Do you agree with his assessment that you're that far away, and what do you need to do to get back into the cage with Usman?
I mean, of course not. That's obviously crazy talk, as everybody knows. That's absolutely crazy talk. I would obviously love the rematch next. That's what the fans want. I certainly hope that that's what PFL wants, because it is the fight to make. Now, it would probably depend on Usman's schedule. If he's not fighting to the end of the year, then I would absolutely love to have another fight in the meantime, get another win, get paid some more money, build an even bigger rematch. So we'll see. I have no indication as to what's happening next, but we'll see.
Heading into that fight, it was billed for obvious reasons as Ireland versus Dagestan. We've got a history of Conor versus Khabib. And post-fight, Khabib was in the smart cage and he paid you a lot of respect. Were you surprised by that?
I don't know if I could say I was expecting it. Certainly always nice to hear and to get respect, for sure. But I was expecting to win. And that's what I was expecting, you know.
And will you take up his offer to go and train in Dagestan?
Certainly one day. Definitely not before I beat Usman and put that all to bed. But certainly in the future. I mean, that's a tremendously generous offer that I certainly don't take lightly. So I would absolutely take that offer up in the future and then return the favour for anybody that wants to come train here in Belfast.
I don't want to dwell on it too much because a lot's been said about this man already, but post Usman fight, you had a bit of back and forth with Conor McGregor on social media. He questioned your Irish heritage. Were you disappointed to hear something and read stuff like that from someone that you previously considered an idol?
No, I actually wasn't very disappointed, and I didn't really take it very personal at all, as I explained on Ariel my stance on this. I think the Conor that said that is just not the Conor that we once knew. So I do take it with a pinch of salt. And yeah, that's just my honest thoughts on it.
You mentioned when I asked you about Dagestan and going to train over there, they're more than welcome to come and train with you in Belfast. You're, of course, very proud of where you're from. You've mentioned it multiple times. You want to get one of these big fights either in Belfast or in Dublin. Are you confident of that happening? And how excited are you to bring one of these big fight cards to your hometown?
Oh, I certainly hope so. I mean, you heard me in the post-fight interview calling for it. I've talked about it before. I actually called for it after I beat AJ too. Something that I really want to happen. That's number one on my bucket list of MMA is to sell out the SSE Arena in Belfast, 9,000 people. That's number one. That's before anything. That's before Vegas. That's before MSG. That's before anything. That is what I want to do in my career, and I think there literally could not be a better time to do it than right now.
How far are we away from that? And do you reckon it happens in 2025?
I mean, look, if Usman doesn't want to fight in the summertime, then get me Belfast in the summertime. If PFL had any sense, they would do absolutely everything in their power to get that done, because I think it would be huge for the promotion, huge for my career, of course, and then huge for potential, say we're doing a US show, say it's Boston, what, if I get a good Irish show where I get to sell that out, I'll certainly bring a lot of people to the likes of Boston, and I think it would be a very good move for all parties.
You're very confident on the mic as well as in the cage, but in terms of superstars within the organization, where do you rank yourself?
Oh, I mean, of course, you could definitely say I'm the star of the organization now. Alongside, I would say there's a few stars that were all just right there moving the needle for the company, and that would be, of course, Francis. And then I think Dakota, you've got to put her there, absolutely no question. And then myself, I think we're the people that are really potentially going to move the needle for the company in the future.
Your last couple of fights have been in the Middle East. You, of course, shocked the world and beat AJ McKee at the back end of 2024. At the beginning of this year, you narrowly lost against Usman in Dubai. Can you tell me what it's like to fight over there where the climate and environment is different when it comes to fighting sports? And also, do you expect yourself to fight there more in the future?
I mean, certainly I see myself fighting there again. The Dubai show was incredible. I mean, we sold, I think, 11, 12,000 out, like completely sold out to the rafters. The atmosphere was incredible. The arena was incredible. The experience of doing the last part of my training camp in Dubai was incredible. After the fight was incredible. Dubai especially is a really good place to fight and to prepare for a fight. They really, I mean, my face was all over taxis all over the city. They really take it seriously there, and they promote us well, and they treat us very well. So I would definitely see myself fighting there again.
Throughout your career, you've referenced Nipsey Hussle. You've come out to Nipsey Hussle songs to your fights. You've referenced the album Victory Lap. Of course, that's his most famous album. I know it wasn't a victory against Usman in Dubai, but what did post-fight look like for Paul Hughes after that fight?
Drunk a ton of Guinness, my man. A ton of Guinness, because your boy missed out on Christmas. I had a lot to catch up on, so a lot of my friends and family from around the world all flew in. Everyone was in Dubai together, so we certainly made up for it and had a good time together.
Your nickname is Big News, and on talkSPORT we love big news. Can you give us an exclusive and tell us what's on the horizon or what's on the radar for Paul Hughes for the rest of 2025?
I wish I did. I wish I had something I could give you. I would love to tell you I'm fighting in Belfast this summer. Maybe you could just put that out there just to put more pressure on. I have no indication as to what's next. I certainly hope it's Belfast in the summer.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.